Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bracket Up, where we rank the mundane to the slightly less mundane. I am Handy Dandy Andy Jerrick, and today we'll be taking a journey back into the wacky, awful world of wrestling. Today, I've come up with 32 of the dumbest gimmick matches of all time, whether they're silly ideas, silly executions, or a combination of both, which is pretty much what all of them are. We're going to figure out which one is the absolute dumbest. There's some real doozies on here. I watched, I think, all of these, so you guys don't have to. And I'm begging you, don't do it when we're done, please. Maybe I could recommend one, just one. I'll go ahead and introduce everybody, and then we'll get started real quick. As usual, next to me is a man with the best name in the whole wide world, Mr. Andy Misek. How are you, Andy?
I'm good. I love when we talk wrestling because I know nothing about it, and your enthusiasm carries over to me.
I love that your introduction to wrestling on this podcast has been the worst of like multiple parts of wrestling.
Hey,
That's nothing good, just the bad shit.
I'm all for it.
Good to hear. Next to Andy is the Giggle King, returning yet again, Julian Griffin. How are you, Mr. Julian?
What's up? What's up? I'm good. How are you?
Good. I like that enthusiasm too. That came out of nowhere. I like it. And then next to Julian, as always, is Red Dead Dave Holloway. How are you, Dave?
Good. This is the only place I get my podcast news now, or my wrestling news now, because my gaming podcasts without Dan Reichert doesn't get into wrestling as much anymore.
Let me tell you about last podcast on the left. Yeah.
I thought you were going to suggest the WWE New Day
they do a little
podcast. Yeah, run by the guy who used to be on my podcasts that I listen to. I always bring up wrestling.
All right, so we've got 32 of these. I made a little PowerPoint presentation. Andy Misek is taking care of that. We'll start off with this wonderful picture of the guy's reaction when The Undertaker lost his wrestling.
Oh, no, I'm going too fast.
That's all right. Yeah, most of these only have one picture to it. But the very first match is the dog poo match. We're starting out strong here. That's The Rock giving the rock bottom to the British Bulldog on what looks like a plate of Panda Express's orange chicken.
I am to assume that is dog poo.
Skin on that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dog poo. Obviously, the British Bulldog, I mean, he's clearly half dog, half man. So you got to throw in as many dog puns as possible when you're building to a gimmick match like that.
I love the ref.
Yeah,
the crowd seems very excited.
Yeah, Rock was the good guy, Bulldog was the bad guy, so the bad guy gets his. I'd be excited too.
Bad guy gets a bag full of poo.
Yeah, a bag full of dog poo. Any of the dog gimmicks they've done dog poo match, they've done dog food match where the loser has to get like dog food dumped on them, cans of dog food. Just awful.
That's less bad.
It's less bad, but it's still so.
It's probably real dog food though in that case. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely orange chicken, and the dog food was actually canned Purina or whatever the hell it is.
Wait, that ain't real dog poo? I don't like this anymore.
No, I don't think it is. No chance to get some sort of awful disease.
I gotta see what this is up against.
Yeah, dog poo match goes up against the hog pen match. There have been a couple hog pen matches. And this one was the very first one with that's Triple H in the black pants against Henry O. Godwin, H-O-G, the hog farmer. Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
What does a hog pen match entail?
Yeah, so the only way to win the hog pen match is to throw your opponent into the hog pen. So they started out in the actual wrestling ring, made their way out to the hog pen, then went back to the wrestling ring for more shenanigans, and then came back to the hog pen. And eventually, Triple H threw Henry Godwin over his head. Or no, sorry. Yes, no, I'm right. Yeah, Triple H threw Henry Godwin over his head into the hog pen, where there were like 12 actual pigs, like rooting around with hay and sniffing. It was just terrible. Terrible stuff.
I'd like to make.
Hopefully the pigs are all right.
I'd like to make a point though
I don't
that
think there were any pigs in there. Were there pigs in there?
Yeah, like 12 of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, not just one pig, like a bunch. This thing was huge. It was like probably half the size of the wrestling ring. At one point, so after the match is over, Triple H is the bad guy, so everyone boos because we don't want him to win. The hog farmer grabs him and throws him, into a pile of slop or whatever that's in the pen. The issue though is Triple H had a massive cut alongside his back that was like he got slammed back first into this nasty sloppy shit. So not fun. Not fun
And
at
he's
all.
the bad guy?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Isn't he the one that runs the WWE now?
Yeah, he's very much in charge of a lot of things.
Oh wow, I can see why.
I like though that the first two matches, as dumb as they are, dog poo and hog pen, the big name stars partake. We had The Rock in the dog poo match. We have Triple H in this one.
Why is The Rock in the dog poo match?
It was just because it was. I mean, just dealing with British Bulldog. Let's have a match that plays on the word dog. Like, don't try and read too much into it.
I guess you're right. I shouldn't read too much into it. It's just that I feel terrible for both men, and I feel like they should both have gotten tetanus shots after this.
I feel bad for The Rock.
I don't know if they ever.
The real bad guy in all of this is the referee who let this shit happen. Where's the custodial staff? Like, they let this stuff on the stage. That's awful.
I'm sure between once the match was done and they were at commercial or whatever, they took the tray of orange chicken out and took it back to catering, and everyone else just ate it.
It
Were
doesn't look
any of
like
these
orange chicken though? It looks like the naked mole rats, like a bunch of them from like Kim Possible.
It looked like a lot of Euro meat that's just kind of like stacked up to me.
Don't you say it's Euro meat now?
No, Euro meat is good. Just it like this low res image is what it seems like. Now, were any of these in a pay-per-view match?
Oh, tons.
Okay. I'm
Was
assuming
this
most
one?
of these were like some side thing in a pay-per-view.
Yeah, the dog poo match I don't think was. The hog pen match definitely was.
Oh no.
And before we go any further, I've seen one of these live. Just keep that in the back of your head, and when we're done, take a wild guess. I've seen only one of these live.
The fact you saw any of them live is wonderful.
I think I know which one you saw live.
Well, not of these two. There's still plenty more. There's 30 more dumb shit matches.
There's a lot.
I'm ready to vote, though, and it's dog poo for me.
I also gotta go dog poo. Actually, you know what? I take that vote back. I'm gonna go hog pen because he got like a huge cut on his back and then thrown in the slop, and I feel like I would want to be in charge of shit too to make sure that never happens to me again.
Since the dog poo wasn't real, I mean it's real dumb. But the fact that they did the hog pen multiple times, I'm gonna go with hog pen.
The way I see it is the dog poo being fake makes it even dumber.
There's not even real consequences.
Yeah, you're just getting thrown into some orange chicken. I would let somebody throw me into orange chicken.
I mean, that could be
I would let somebody throw me into orange chicken.
Julian's like, fuck that.
I'm saying I would. I would definitely let somebody throw me into orange chicken.
Mouth first, please.
Especially if it's from Moe's. If it's Moe's.
Yeah, Moe's orange chicken.
Yes, you can throw me in there all day.
Panda Express, no, but Moe's, yeah.
Yeah, if that's Panda Express orange chicken, I'd actually prefer.
It might as well be dog poo. Yeah.
Hating on Panda's OC.
Express orange chicken, you need to go to the doctors immediately afterwards.
All right.
All right, next up is the Brawl for All. Brawl for All, Andy. Just so you know, there's
this looks fun.
A GIF after this, so don't move on quite yet. Brawl for All, WWF decided that the best way to showcase these wrestlers are in legitimate shoot fights with each other. They just thought that getting 16 guys together to actually beat the shit out of each other would be a great way to draw ratings.
Did it work?
You like wrestling? Well, here's boxing.
Yeah, it was like really crappy, obviously really crappy mixed martial arts because, you know, none of these guys are actual fighters. They're just barroom tough guys, if you will. So there were 5 guys got legitimately injured in this tournament and had to take time off out of the 16 to actually deal with injuries. The winner of it, Bart Gunn, which I believe is this guy right here in the middle, the white guy, he ended up winning the tournament, winning the 16-man tournament. And as a punishment for that, because he beat a guy that he wasn't supposed to beat, this happened. Andy, that's your cue. This is at WrestleMania.
He got his ass beat by Butterbean.
Yep, they booked him against Butterbean, a legitimate pro boxer, and he got killed in 30 seconds.
That's the real winner.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was this one like an unscripted event, or was there a set winner? But it sounds like there was supposed to have been a set.
All unscripted fights. Like it was just
okay.
2 guys in the ring, and whoever wins.
Yeah,
and then Butterbean kills us poor Bart Gunn, who then got released like immediately afterwards. They just fucking fired him.
But only after they cause severe brain damage.
Yep.
Because he bounces off the rope and then off the turnbuckle as well.
He'd already been knocked down once.
To win.
So this was the second knockdown, and obviously knocked out.
What would have happened if he won this one?
I don't know. There's no.
You would have found a new career.
Yeah, I guess he'd go into boxing.
Well, he ain't a boxer.
How that turned out.
No, not at all. An awful, stupid idea.
I love that this is a 2-parter, though. It's like, here's our match. Oh, we didn't get the results we want. Let's just kill the guy.
Yeah, they're that petty.
That was a clear setup.
All right, I got to see what this is up against. I don't think it's whatever it is going to win.
The scaffold match or scaffold matches.
Somebody died in this, didn't they?
Scare me. These scare me to fucking death. So I watched a handful of these, and they all pretty much look like what you guys are seeing. There's ladders to get up to this 3-foot wide scaffold. And you only can win the match when you knock someone off the scaffold and into the ring. It's legitimately like a 25-foot fall, and these guys just have to fucking take it.
Oh.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody die from falling from the scaffold?
I think you're thinking of Bret Hart or Owen Hart, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't this, right?
No, he died from a stunt. No one has died from a scaffold match. People have been, very badly injured, but no one's died from it. Not for lack of trying sometimes. These are awful because obviously nobody wants to kill their opponent because, it's fake. So they're just mostly standing around on the scaffold, just throwing like little shitty punches and kicks and making sure nobody slips.
Whose idea was this, and why aren't they in jail?
It's Triple H. After he got his back cut, he's like, all right.
Now, this would be Vince McMahon, right?
Actually, the WWF don't mind the watermarks on the side. This came from the WWF network. They never held a scaffold match. That was all WCW and various regional promotions in the 80s and early 90s.
And those are all combined now, right?
Crazy shit on the 80s and early 90s.
Yes. It's scary. It's legitimately scary. So one of the matches I watched, it was a tag team match, 2 guys versus 2 guys. There were 4 people on this scaffold.
Oh God.
Actually, they all were hanging from the scaffold on the bottom there, kind of holding out the ladder rung things and kicking each other like a chicken fight that you'd have with friends. And eventually 2 of them, the bad guys, got kicked down to the ring and just had to fall 20 feet and land on their hips and try not to hurt themselves.
Try not to break a leg.
And then later,
break anything.
Yeah, later on, the manager of the bad guys, he got so scared he climbed up the scaffold and then was met by the good tag team, who then knocked him off, and he legitimately broke his ankle because he landed feet first.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, okay. Do I rescind my last comment?
Yeah, it's up to you. I just think they're so damn dangerous. There hasn't been one in at least like probably 15 years.
Yeah, the danger of it is what makes it dumb for me, so I'm going with Scaffold.
I'm going to go with Brawl for All because they didn't even get the result they wanted. So they're like, you know what? We're going to end this guy's whole career.
They didn't get the result they wanted, and they could have set it up as a scripted end.
Brawl for All because it was 2 parts. It was a dumb idea on top of a dumb idea. If you wanted to just fire somebody, you should have just fired him. That's ridiculous. Like, we're going to beat your...
Right. And now he makes all the guys that he beat before he got beat by Butterbean look like shit because Butterbean killed him in 30 seconds. Dumb stuff. All right. Scaffold match moves on. Next up, we've got the Doomsday Cage. Okay. This was the worst match that I watched all these. This was awful, guys.
What kind of funhouse Legends of the Hidden Temple bullshit is this?
It took me a second to realize these are the same image, not 2 different images on top of each other.
It does look like an overlay. Legit looks like an overlay. You're right.
Oh,
all right. So this match was in WCW. It was 2 guys. Hulk Hogan, which you can kind of see on the top cage in the yellow, and Randy Savage, who's also in there somewhere, against 8 guys, 8 people. The Alliance to End Hulkamania was the name of it. And those guys included Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Mang, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster, Z Gangsta, and the Ultimate Solution.
There are several names, though, in there with Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Randy Savage. Those are big names to be doing this.
That's probably why they're so big, because they kept doing this dumb shit. The dumbest thing that I think they all did was try to grow long hair when they're clearly balding.
Dye their hair, too.
Like,
I gotta ask, was the Ultimate Solution a Nazi? Because... that's a fucking Nazi.
Right.
That is a
dog whistle. Like,
yeah,
it's absolutely.
That is.
I'm not sure if he actually was.
Okay.
His character didn't really speak like that. I think it was just a bad choice of words.
Yeah. Didn't think that one through.
Ultimate Solution.
The Ultimate Solution.
Is he black? No. Is he Jewish? I got the Ultimate Solution. That's some awful shit.
The Ultimate Solution later ended up playing Bane in the Batman and Robin movie.
He was also named the Final Solution.
It didn't get any better.
No, it got worse.
Oh, no.
All right, so I'll walk you through this match a little bit. The top cage started out with Hogan and Savage against, I think it was Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. So 2 versus 2. And eventually, there's like a trap door or something in the cage that Hogan and Savage pulled up and dropped down to the middle level against these other 4 guys.
Oh, this is not even 2 layers. This is more than 2 layers?
Yeah, it's 2 layers and then the floor. So, yeah.
Oh.
So then they get into this middle layer against 4 guys, and somehow Hogan gets out of the scaffold, or out of the cage and onto the scaffold on the borders, and makes his way down to the ring. Savage does too. Eventually, guys are sometimes out of the match because Hogan and Savage got past them, but they show up later. Chains show up, like bike chains. Powder gets thrown. There are locks that they chain people against. It's terrible. Eventually, so they get to the ring, which isn't close to the cage at all. So they all have to nicely walk down to the ring. There's still 2 of them against, it's like 6, because this is when Z Gangsta and the Ultimate Solution show up. And they're the worst wrestlers you've ever seen. The absolute worst. They are horrendously bad. And Hogan and Savage have to try and pretend that they're good. And it doesn't work out well. But eventually, Hogan's pal, the Booty Man, who you might remember from our worst Gimmicks episode, shows up with frying pans, small frying pans that Hogan and Savage can use to beat other people with. Hogan hits someone twice and his pan just breaks. It just breaks. He's walking around with a handle only. It's fantastic. Yep. Oh, okay. And then the end of the match. Let's get to the end. One of the bad guys, Lex Luger, picks up, and I quote, a weighted glove. That's what it's called by the commentary team, a weighted glove. It's just a black glove. It's not weighted. There's no brass knuckles in it or a blackjack. And he then just accidentally hits Ric Flair, his teammate, and then Randy Savage pins him, and him and Hogan run out of the ring.
Weighted glove sounds like something someone would take off in like Dragon Ball and then be like, "Oh, I was fighting with weights the whole time. Look how fast I am now."
Right.
Oh yeah, that's like so Ted Turner was he's an American media proprietor, and he was the owner of WCW. And this dude looks like he did a lot of cocaine in his day. So maybe, just maybe, if he had any say, I think he had some say in this bullshit.
Well, Ted Turner's a big name. He founded Cartoon Network too, because that's all owned by Time Warner.
Yeah, and Ted Turner,
crazy.
He loved wrestling, so he was like the biggest proponent of having WCW on TBS, the channel TBS that he owned. So he loved his wrestling stuff. So I'm sure he gave this the okay at least. If you have 25 minutes of your life you don't want, I it's so bad. It's such a cluster.
Is it bad in a good way? Like I'd watch it and get some yucks and have a good time?
Maybe.
Yeah, is this the Gobbler?
I don't know. I'd say probably not.
What kind of bullshit monstrosity were we on where we definitely had to watch this? I don't.
What monstrosity is this up against?
The Lion's Den match. Both of these took place on pay-per-views. This is a WWF match.
Okay, this kind of looks cool.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be, representative of a mixed martial arts cage, like a cage fight, because the guy in the blue at the bottom is Ken Shamrock, who's a legit mixed martial arts fighter, champion, whatnot. And the issue with this, though, is that it looks like the dog cone that you put on your dog's head to stop it from chewing on its stitches or licking itself. I couldn't get a picture of the thing like in its full view, but it literally looks like that. The bottom is smaller and it gets wider as it goes up.
It looks real tiny.
I like how the ref is just like up on the ledge over there, and he's not actually in there doing shit.
It's so small.
There ain't room for him.
There's not enough room for 3 people. What's random is that occasionally the guys would throw each other into the cage panels, but they sometimes, not all the time, would bounce back like they're ring ropes. This didn't happen every time, but it happened a few of them.
This is so stupid. All of these are so
What kind of bullshit is this? This looks like one of them rides at Funko Land or like
yeah, where they strap you in and spin you.
They strap you in and spin you. That's what that looks like.
Gravitron.
So fucking stupid. Oh,
people paid money for this.
Oh yeah.
Or people paid money also for the Doomsday.
Play some video games. Like Jesus, don't spend your money on.
Was this like a headline fight for the pay-per-view or?
I think it was near the top of the card. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming though the Doomsday Cage was the main attraction of that pay-per-view because of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage being in it.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And for that, it's getting the gobbledygooker treatment from me. People paid specifically for this fight.
Yeah, that's sweet.
When you think of Doomsday Cage, I'm thinking of something a little bit scarier. I'd have been I'd take my niece to that.
Meanwhile,
like you'd have fun as hell.
I also like how once they're out of the cage, they all politely walk to the ring.
There's no urgency. There's no, hey, we're in the middle of a wrestling match. It's just like, we'll get there when we get there, guys.
Oh, God. Just the names of the next two here.
All right, yeah. Next up, this is a real fucking winner. The Sumo Monster Truck match. Andy, this is a 3-parter, just so you know, but I will prompt you. So Hulk Hogan's back.
Look at the big ass ripped muscle on the truck.
It's also got his hair, doesn't it?
It does. There's like this do-rag or some shit like that. That's so weird.
Hulkamania is running wild here.
So Hulk Hogan is going up against the Giant, who later was known as the Big Show. So you guys might know who that guy is. So these monster trucks are welded together, like by the front axle, and they're in this ring, this circle with like traffic cones and shit. And the winner of the match is whichever truck pushes the other truck completely out of the circle. I mean, that's wrestling, right?
Sure, yeah.
Minus the truck part.
Sumo monster truck is an accurate description, actually.
It really is. So there's one of the commentators is like a guy who works on monster trucks. So he's giving specifics about how you drive monster trucks and the various statistics of each monster truck. And you eventually see in the match that each of the guys, the wrestlers, have like a co-pilot with them who's helping them drive the truck, because you can't learn to do this in a day or whatever. So this was filmed at, I think it's an arena that's next to the actual arena where the pay-per-view was. And yes, this was the main event. I think this was at the Joe Louis Arena when it was the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. But it's at like the building across the street on its roof. So you're, I don't know, what, 8-10 stories high. So eventually the match is over. Hulk Hogan pushes the Giant's truck out of the ring completely. The Giant's pissed off. So then him and Hogan start fighting on the roof of the match, or on the roof of the building. And Andy, here's your cue. This happens. The Giant dies. He falls from the roof, clearly. I mean, he falls to his death. Hogan tries to grab him. It doesn't work. He's very sad. He says, "Help, brother, help. That wasn't supposed to happen, brother."
Wait, so like he died for real?
No, definitely not.
So this happens. I took the time code now. At 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 5 seconds pay-per-view. At 2 minutes and 2 hours and 49 seconds, 2 hours, 0 minutes and 49 seconds, a new match starts. So in less than 2 minutes, we went from him dying to another random match. The commentators are trying to play this off like it's super serious and like, oh my God, we don't know what happened. Where's security? I've got to get up there. And meanwhile, the fucking monster truck commentator guy's just sitting there in between the two with a mask look on his face. So,
I gotta imagine in the 80s there was a big overlap in people that were into monster trucks and wrestling. So.
Probably. This was 1996, 95.
Probably still a little less true then, but still probably good overlap.
Most of the fans come from like Central Illinois, Yeehaw Junction.
Yeehaw Junction.
All right, so okay, at 2 minutes the new match starts. Andy, you can skip ahead to the next one. At 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 36 seconds, this happens.
Is that a werewolf?
What is this?
All right.
What is going on?
So, at 2:16, the Giant comes back out for a regular wrestling match with Hulk Hogan.
Is he the mummy or the werewolf?
All right, so they have their little wrestling match. And eventually, this guy all the way on the right, who's jumping, his name is Jimmy Hart. He's Hulk Hogan's manager. He turned on Hulk Hogan in the match. Oh no, scary. Then, let's see. Then who comes out? Lex Luger, this guy in the black trunks in the middle, and starts beating up Randy Savage after he turned on Randy Savage for some reason. Then the Yeti comes out, which is this mummy-looking guy.
That's a Yeti?
That's a Yeti?
Mind you, they all call it the Yeti. Like Y-E-T-A-Y, not Y-E-T-I. So the Yeti and the Giant both grab Hulk Hogan and they kind of try and turn him into the letter H. It's very awkward. There's a lot of rubbing and grabbing. It's gross. Then they do it to Savage as well. and it's gyrating and rubbing, and then it goes off the air.
I know this probably isn't the one, but I hope to God this is the one you went to live.
I would have been like 6. I would have been into it, man.
I know it's like the low resolution of this, but that guy on the right just looks like a werewolf to me.
I also like how Hulk Hogan's manager turns on him, and it's just this fucking like greaser from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan could handle himself against his fucking manager.
Yep. So all of this happened in the span of 17 minutes and 31 seconds.
Great. So what's losing to this?
Well, you've got the kennel from hell. Now, there's some backstory to the kennel from hell. The guy on the left is Al Snow. The guy on the right is the Big Boss Man. And the reason that they're having a very specific kennel from hell match is because the Big Boss Man stole Al Snow's dog, killed it, cooked it, and fed it to Al Snow.
Oh.
The dog's name was Pepper. It was a little Chihuahua type thing. And so the the Big Boss Man fed Al Snow pepper steak.
And so then to torment him more, they're having a match named after a kennel.
I guess. And this was Al Snow's idea, to have this kennel from hell match. Yeah, to get revenge on the Big Boss Man. So, okay, the kennel from hell is a blue cage around the ring, and then like the traditional Hell in a Cell around the sides of the outside. Now, the slight difference is that eventually a bunch of Rottweilers were dragged down to the ring with handlers, and they would be patrolling in between the cage and the cell. It's supposed to be vicious dogs who are trying to bite people whose hands get out of the cage or are trying to escape or whatever. It's scary. Andy, flip the slide. We got dogs like that.
Oh.
He looks cute though.
So happy.
I'm gonna bite some asshole today.
So there were about, I think, 5 or 6 dogs out there. Not one of them did anything menacing. They pooped and they humped.
Oh, the amount of money that they wasted on this.
Pay-per-view?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Top attraction.
I paid money to watch dogs hump and shit.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
But
they were barking a little bit from time to time, but nothing close to. I mean, clearly this dog's having the time of its life.
He probably just
Warren's very concerned about where it's at.
I'm playing this to any outside country. Anybody here who's asked, like, what's America about? I'm going to show them this. This is what America's about.
It's an awful match. It's an awful concept. Al Snow ends up winning. He gets to escape the cage and get some revenge, I guess, on the Big Boss Man. But
I don't think winning a wrestling match is revenge for being forced to eat your dog.
Yeah, not quite.
I'm ready to vote, and I mean this is a no-brainer. This sumo truck thing is
Sumo monster
fucking.
Truck. That's.
It's
I'm
legendary.
going kennel.
This is legendary stupid. The guy gets killed and is in a ring with the same guy who killed him 5 minutes later max. Glorious.
All right, sumo truck. That makes a lot of sense. Next up, we've got the Inferno Match. There have been a couple Inferno matches, and they're kind of a cool concept. There's fire outside of the ring. And each time someone gets like slammed, like a body slam or a suplex or something, the flames shoot up. And it's kind of cool. It's a nice visual. It actually looks intimidating as hell. But
Is this Kane and Undertaker?
Yes, they had 2 at least of these. I think there have only been a handful, so I don't know who was in the other ones. The issue, though, is that you don't actually want to burn your opponent because fire is real. You can't fake fire, and the only way the match ends is by burning your opponent. One of them has to be caught on fire.
Oh my
somehow.
god!
It's usually like the foot, or like with a wrestling boot that I'm sure beforehand was equipped with anti-flame stuff.
Yeah, that gel that like burns but doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, flame retardant.
Right. So. Yeah, I don't know. They're just kind of silly because we all know that no one's going to take a headshot into flames or a chest shot or a crotch shot.
See, I think that's what the WWE needs is just face to the flames, crotch to the flames fun.
Why not, man?
So you're basically saying that it needs more drug addicts, like crackheads. They would do it.
Sure.
For cheap. So the one of the Inferno matches I started watching was, it might have been this one on Raw. The announcer says, and I quote, "After Raw, tune into the Home Shopping Network to purchase exclusive hats, videos, and merchandise." Now let's get back to the Inferno match.
It just looks like it would burn the rope or like damage the ring.
I'm sure everything there is like flame retardant, or they took certain precautions because everything, it's like a huge fire hazard if they don't.
Yeah, it was. They're not good matches. Like the guys are just slow and again just punching and kicking, trying not to actually hurt each other. It could be worse. Definitely not the worst one on this list.
It ain't the sumo one, the sumo monster truck one.
I'm sorry. I don't have a ton of stories about Inferno matches. The next up, we've got pole matches, and I kind of
What is he?
Dude Guerrera, and he's holding a piñata.
He looks scary.
It probably is. So, pole matches, you can see the pole on the left. Usually, an item is being hung from the pole, whether it's usually not like a title belt, but something that's part of one of the guys wrestling, a flag. I guess a piñata for this case. I've seen
a chair.
Poles. Yeah, a chair, something, a nightstick, a weapon of some sorts. But there are many times when you get things like a piñata on a pole, which is just racist. And just
I was about to say that is very racist.
Let's see. There have been action figures on a pole match. A Yoshi Tatsu action figure on a pole match. There has been a Viagra on a pole match.
That's fun.
And my favorite one, Andy, you can skip, the Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
What the fuck am I looking at?
That's Judy Bagwell. She's the legitimate mother of a wrestler named Buff Bagwell. And Buff and his opponent, Canyon, were in a feud. And if Canyon won, Canyon's a bad guy, then Judy has to be his valet for like a month or something.
Oh, no.
The announcers always play up these sort of stipulations is that there's going to be sexual things going on. Absolutely. He's just going to rail her whenever he wants. It's very uncomfortable. Yeah.
She doesn't look like she can handle that much stress.
Probably not.
She looks like she doesn't even want to be there.
To be fair,
she looks disappointed.
She does.
This is what my son does for a living.
She said that if I come on this show, they'll give me free Dominic's coupons.
Well, luckily, Buff ended up winning. Thank goodness. So his mom was not subject to the sexual exploits of Canyon.
And she got her Dominic's coupons.
And she got her coupons.
Hopefully she used them before like 2013.
Yeah, 50 cents off rotisserie chicken. That's good shit.
And that's what put Dominic under.
For next turkey. Bubba, he likes his stuffing. He really likes his stuffing. I got these coupons, and they told me to come on this show. Thank God.
Oh, God. Yeah, this was terrible. But altogether, I think these are two of the less awful types. But pole matches are bad. Half the time, the object falls off before it's supposed to.
I'm going pole matches.
I'm a pole match guy here too.
Pole matches are worse. I got you.
Poor
All right,
Judy.
next up, our first matchup, we have the Fish Market Street Fight.
The fuck is this?
I had never heard of this before doing some research. This is in TNA, which was a somewhat rival promotion. It's still going on.
I remember TNA.
Tag team match between the Dudley Boys and Curryman and Shark Boy. That's Curryman in the orange and red right there. So this is so fucking stupid. Evidently, before the match, there was a stipulation with the Dudleys that they both had to weigh less than 275 pounds or else they'd be fired immediately. Now, clearly, neither of these guys are close to 275. They're both big boys. But they somehow, wink, wink, managed to weigh in less than 275 so that the match can go on. So the match starts in the rampway leading up to the ring. There's fish, live, well, not live, dead fish, but real fish in ice, in, trays and tables like you would see at, an Asian market or something like that. And these guys use fish and beat the shit out of each other. Fish to the groin, fish to the chest, fish to the neck. And if you'll skip a slide, Bubba Dudley decides to tongue kiss a fish before bringing it up and down into the sack of, I think it was Curryman.
Going back.
I want to just say this guy looks like a JoJo villain, and that fishing pole is absolutely a JoJo stand.
I'm glad we're back to this trend.
Always comes back to JoJo.
Maybe it's the dude in like the Geico commercial. You know, the one who's talking about, oh, I got $1 for you. It's him, he's dressed up.
So what he's doing right there, because Bubba Ray Dudley is fat, Curryman found a ding dong, like a Hostess ding dong, and attached it to the fish hook, and then flipped it over the ropes and baited Bubba Dudley into eating it, and then was pulling him back into the ring to kick his ass.
That's mean, but it's also stupid as hell.
That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. When did this take place?
2010 or so.
Could this be the one Andy saw live?
I was of age. Bubba.
Wait.
Yeah.
He baited him with a Hostess.
Yeah.
A Hostess.
Yeah, ding dong.
Ooh.
Are you telling me?
Oh my god!
It's just. So this is probably gonna go far.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! Ow! Stop biting me, please. My cat's biting my leg. It hurts.
This one was actually pretty entertaining to watch. From the very beginning of the stupid weigh-in thing to the end of the match, it was actually kind of fun. If you got like 18 minutes.
The more I look at Curryman, the more he looks like the JoJo stand himself.
Ding dongs aren't even that good.
He's even kind of doing a JoJo pose there.
Listen, that fishing pole is called Beach Boy. I know it.
What last note? Bubba Dudley ends up throwing fish into the audience, like real fish, just flinging them into the stands. I don't know why.
I hope at the end of this is the one you went to, and you show me the fish you caught that night.
Got some inspiration.
What's his name? Bubba Dudley?
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a Netflix series where he talks about how he had to go to therapy after this and needs help to lose weight and turn his life around. I would watch the shit out of that.
He got a fishborne disease by kissing it.
I know, right? He's just like, I've had this disease ever since I decided to do that.
Silly stuff. All right, so that's the Fish Market Street Fight. And that's going up against the Reverse Battle Royal, also known as the Fight for the Right. This is one of the dumbest, definitely the dumbest ones. So what you're seeing.
What's a reverse battle royale? Like, what makes it a reverse? The loser wins?
So somebody gets their ass beat by Butterbean and then goes into the...
They throw the unconscious body in.
They just wake up, fight.
It's actually known as a concussion match.
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding. So what you're seeing here, this is actually the second part of the match. You guys have probably all heard of the Royal Rumble before, where guys have to get thrown out of the ring and their feet hit the floor and they lose.
Mhm.
Imagine the opposite. 16 guys start outside the ring. The first 8 to get into the ring are in a match. Isn't that the dumbest shit?
This is a Mario Party minigame.
It does.
So I'm not done though. Once these 8 guys get in the ring, then they have a regular battle royal where you have to throw them out of the ring. And I'm done. The last 2 guys have a regular wrestling match to win by pin or submission. And all of this, the point of all of this was seeding for a future tournament between the 8 guys who got into the ring first.
This had to be fun to watch.
No.
I feel like the chaos of it all, the jumping in, jumping out.
The thing is, though, half the time on the outside, there were guys just standing around not trying to get in the ring. Just literally standing and watching each other. Not fighting, not trying to scramble into the ring, just standing around.
Yeah, was this a scripted outcome one? So they had to not try to get in?
Yes. So you had to try and come up with reasons, I guess, not to get into the ring. But I think most guys are like, why?
What am I doing?
Yeah, and just stood around. It was awful. Just absolutely terrible.
I'm all for it.
So yeah, it's that or the fish market street fight.
Fish market.
Voting for fish market.
Fish market, but I feel bad voting for it because this is stupid. This is really stupid.
It is stupid, but nobody licked no one tongue kissed a fucking fish in the face and then got baited by a ding dong. And like I said, ding dongs aren't even that good.
Yeah,
it's even stupider.
I think that would work on me. You hang a nice tasty pastry on a fishing line, I'd probably go for it.
Ding dongs are like so bottom of the barrel hostess.
Yeah, but maybe not a ding dong, but a nice tasty pastry, and I'd go for it. I'd be like, ooh.
Andy's nice tasty pastries. You should make that a real thing.
We'll sell merch in the store. Don't worry.
Next
pop with you and pastry.
We've got the blindfold match.
This is BDSM.
This is gonna go far.
This
the fuck am I looking at?
As far as I know, this is probably the first blindfold match. There might have been more, but this is like the first big name one. This was at WrestleMania 6 or 7. Definitely one of the higher matches on the card. Guy on the left is Jake Roberts, Jake the Snake. Guy on the right is Rick Martel, the model. And the model ended up not accidentally, spraying Jake in the eyes with his signature perfume, which I guess sort of blinded him. So Jake decided, I'll challenge you to this match where we're both blind. Using the old noggin there, aren't you, Jake?
The fuck? Was this fun to watch?
This one was decent because it was the first one. The crowd was hyped as shit. It was a kind of a dumb story, but at least there was a story. So I guess the novelty of it made it watchable, and it was only like 10 or 11 minutes, so it's not too bad.
You watched 10 minutes of 2 guys who couldn't see, probably just waving their arms around looking for the other.
A little bit.
The guy in the middle by the blue rope, like in the crowd, he's really into it. He's really into it.
I was going to point him out too.
7-year-old.
He's having the best time of his fucking life, watching 2 men with bags over their heads try and find each other. This guy, not so much enjoying it.
Mustaches.
So as you can see, Jake's strategy through most of the match was pointing in various directions. And when the crowd would cheer more, he'd know that's where Rick Martel is. I'm going to start walking that way and try and grab him. Actually, kind of smart.
Good plan, yeah.
Obviously, one of the comedy spots in the match, Rick Martel eventually gets Jake down, and then gets up to throw an elbow drop. Jake moves out of the way. Rick Martel elbow drops the wrestling mat, and it hurts him. That's been done in every blindfold match since.
They found their gimmick.
There's probably been like 15 or 20 of these.
There are a lot of really big glasses, trucker hats, and mustaches in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And randomly one black dude wearing a red suit.
What's up with that? What's up with that American flag?
The circle star one?
Yeah. That's
and the wavy lines.
Flag. America, not America.
Right, so Andy, I've got another picture of a blindfold match.
Oh no!
Is that a snake?
What's on his hand?
That's a
what's
cobra.
on his leotard? What is that?
That's a guy named Santino Marella. He's just a goofy guy, not really serious, but actually pretty damn funny. That's a cobra that he would use to strike, and it would like kill people.
This is one of the. I don't care how many of them they did of this. This is the dumbest fucking idea, I think.
The guy on the right looks like he's posing for like a powerlifting competition. You know, like Arnold.
No, that's a JoJo pose.
Yeah, that's JoJo pose, actually. You're correct.
You're not gonna fool me. He just got hit in his nuts. That's what it is.
I see. Usually, this is the pose they make when they release their stand. So don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. He's gonna be fine here.
You're actually correct.
I've seen enough of it now where I can make JoJo jokes.
So obviously the guys can see out of the blindfolds, like they're not actually blind and walking around because
it's lost its fun.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to burst your bubble, but I didn't want to lead you on.
I mean, I assumed that is exactly what was happening, is they were faking blind, but also I hoped and prayed that they were actually blind and couldn't see.
So the blindfold match is going up against the 49ers. This is one of my favorites. So it's kind of similar to a pole match in which each corner has an object in one of these boxes. And we know that three of the boxes have weapons. The announcers tell us that 3 of the boxes have weapons, and 1 box holds the world title. So this was the main event on an episode of Nitro, which was just like a week-to-week show. So you find the belt, you win the title. So grab the box, figure out what's in there, win the title. This guy right here in the middle, that's Jeff Jarrett. He's the bad guy, and he's facing Booker T. Before the match starts, we see a clip from the week before where Jeff Jarrett hits, you guys know the little guy Beetlejuice?
From Howard Stern, yeah.
Yes, a little black guy Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big Howard Stern.
Okay, cool. I didn't know where he was from. But Jeff Jarrett clobbers him in the back of the head with a guitar.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen.
So sure, we see this before the match starts. The match starts between Jeff Jarrett and Booker T. The very first box is not a weapon; it's a blow-up doll. Someone gets the box, rips it open. It's a blow-up doll. They go, "Oh, damn!
Somebody.
It must have been good for someone." So okay, fine. Box number 2 gets broken over Jeff Jarrett's head, and Andy, why don't you skip? It's a picture of Scott Hall, the wrestler.
Look at his face. That is the exact face I would make if I was in a wrestling match and this was the weapon handed to me.
It's fantastic. Yeah, Booker is tired of this shit.
He sure is.
And then he clobbers Jeff Jarrett in the head with it and breaks the painting over his head. Box number 3 is, I don't have any more pictures for this, Andy, so we can just keep it on this bad boy. Box number 3 is a pair of coal miner's gloves. They're just gray gloves, but for some reason the announcers think it's the most dangerous thing on God's green earth.
Well, I heard coal mining's dangerous, so the gloves got to be dangerous.
So then Jeff Jarrett gets the gloves, and when he's punching Booker T has to pretend that he's getting hit with a frying pan or something. Like it's awful. It's just awful. And so near the end of the match, Jarrett goes out of the ring to get his guitar because he'd always hit people with guitars. And eventually, he doesn't get the guitar, but Beetlejuice pops out from underneath the ring. Then Jeff Jarrett goes to try and climb and grab the fourth box, which we know as the title. But Beetlejuice jackhammer punches him in the nuts 4 times. And then Booker T shoves him off to the floor. Beetlejuice jumps on him. And Booker T grabs the box, but the title falls out of the bottom of the box and falls onto the floor. And a random ring guy just has to hand it to Booker T.
So I was hoping that Beetlejuice picked up the title.
Ran away with it.
Yeah. So I know Beetlejuice from Howard Stern, and I'm sure he wanted to do this. I know he's big into wrestling, and I'm sure Howard got him onto this, and I'm so happy. This is wonderful. This ain't dumb. This is my winner for the best on here.
This was dumb. This was so bad.
I love it.
This is dumb.
No, I'm voting for the other because wait, what was the other?
The blindfold match.
The blindfold match.
See, that's the problem though. The blindfold match, if they were real blind, would be one of the dumbest on this list.
Sure.
But
Ooh, I just saw the name of an upcoming one. I'm a little concerned.
Oh dear.
I'll go with blindfold. Fuck it. The Beetlejuice being in the 49er match and just all the stupid objects. I mean, it's got to be a joke. And that's what makes it fun. It's a joke. It's fun. They did 15 of these.
Yeah, I'm going blindfold.
I'm going to go with 49ers match because Beetlejuice.
Thank you, Julian.
Beetlejuice is great.
I think, wait, Dave, did we see the same one, the same title? Because I just saw one that was like,
shortens to PP.
No.
Just let me know when you get to it.
Wait, shortens to P. Oh.
Oh, I just saw another one. Okay. Well, there's a couple questionable.
Yeah, there's
a few of them.
All right, next up, though, nothing, I guess, too awful. We've got the Tower of Doom. And this was a little bit similar to the Doomsday Cage. But it's a small cage, a medium cage, and a big cage around the ring. So this was 4 guys versus 4 guys. 2 guys start at the top. And then every 2 minutes, you can see the referee holding on to a pulley here. He has to pull and open a trap door. And then I think that it's open for 15 seconds, and you can try and get down 1 more level. The point is, the winning team, has all of their guys leave the bottom of the cage. So that's, actually, no, it's 5-on-5. It makes it even worse. So 5 guys have to get in, and then 5 guys have to make their way out from each team. So every 2 minutes, the trap door would open, and there was a trap door in this middle one also, but no referee. So the guys would just have to pull it up themselves and jump down to the bottom level. Now, we're also told before the match that one of the valets of the good guys team, Precious, is holding a key to get out of the bottom cage. That's not fair. And why is it unfair in favor of the good guys? That doesn't make sense at all. They should just win immediately. But as guys start to go down to that bottom level, the refs just open the door. Nobody unlocks anything. But Precious still is just standing in the middle of the ring at various points, doing nothing. Until the match is over and the good guys win. But one of the bad guys is stuck with Precious, and he's going to fuck her. He's going to fuck the shit out of her. It's so creepy, again, with these weird vibes that the commentators are giving off, that he gets to do anything to her. He's alone with her in the ring. It's very weird. So the good guys then have to scale all the way back up to the top and make their way down again on their own to rescue Precious. And cherry on top, the guy who gets to the bad guy first isn't even Precious's valet. Not even that guy. It's just another guy on the team.
I don't know what to say.
Wrestling's weird.
This
it is weird.
When was this? 80s, 90s?
87 or something. It was, yeah.
Is that Freddie Mercury fighting on the bottom with a dude in a black leotard?
Oh my god, it does look like him. This match was actually pretty good. I know I made it sound like shit, but it moves fairly quickly. It's actually not that bad, except for the silly things I pointed out.
Except for the creepy shit at the bottom of the cage.
I hope this next one's good. I really hope this next one's good.
Next up is the Chamber of Horrors match.
Oh.
So this is another WCW thing. You're in a cage that sort of looks like a Hell in a Cell, but there's coffins in the corner of the cages. You can't see that here, but they're legitimately big old coffins. At one point, a guy pops out of the coffin, just a random guy, but he's handcuffed to the cage and can't move. So people just take turns beating him up. I don't know what team he's on. It's 4 versus 4. I don't know if he's just taking a beating, laying out the ground.
He's not on a team. What if he's just some random guy? He just got kidnapped and then just woke up and everyone's beating the shit out of him.
It could have been.
They went up to someone who bought a ticket. It's like, hey, you won a prize. You're gonna be in the show tonight.
Like, I don't know.
They blindfold them.
I was in McDonald's and they introduced the new McGriddles. And the next thing I know, I'm looking up. Everyone's beating the shit out.
So before the match starts, the announcer describes this as a match with instruments of torture. And then soon a chair of torture will be lowered to the ring, which you can see here. It's sort of in a shark cage. So at the beginning of the match, this isn't even in the ring. It's hanging from above the rafters and has to be lowered down. I don't know, it's like 8-10 minutes into the match. And you have to throw your opponent in there. And then behind Vader over here is this guy on the right. There's a switch, like an electrical shock, like an electric chair. You have to turn the switch down, turn the chair on, and electrocute your opponent. Kill them. Again, kill them. Oh,
I was hoping this would be Halloween themed with like skeletons.
Well,
you almost won me over with a coffin, but
this is at Halloween.
Dude on the right, the dude in the black, what's his name?
Vader.
Vader?
Yes.
Has a baby mama body, and it looks like he has a C-section scar on his right.
Vader's a big old dude. Big old beefcake.
Yeah, he is a big old beefcake. Him and all his side boob.
So, Dave, this was at Halloween Havoc, which a Halloween-themed pay-per-view. You can't really see it here, but at the opening stage where the wrestlers walk down, there's like fake tombstones and stuff. Here's
okay.
Kind of funny.
See, I was hoping they'd be fighting like Dracula or a skeleton or a ghost.
Oh no, it's Dracula. We must team up. Good versus bad.
Oh, it's just this guy.
So, okay, at the end of the match happens, and I think this guy, Rick Steiner, who's in the chair right now, against another guy, Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah's bad guy, Rick's a good guy. Rick's in the chair. At the last minute, he reverses Abdullah into the chair, and then one of the bad guys who's hanging on the cage, going to pull the lever down, finally does so, but he thinks, it's the good guy getting shocked. It's not. It's his bad guy. Andy, gift me.
Oh, that's horrifying. Really Oh, no. I would have gotten nightmares from that.
It's actually pretty intense.
I love it. All right, I'm ready to vote, and it's for that. Oh, wait, no, wait.
I'm going.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm going Chamber of Horrors.
Yeah, same.
It's
just
a mess.
I wanted some animatronic skeletons, so it's also disappointing for me.
I don't want to see that GIF again, though. I know
you don't have to go back to
I
it.
just don't want to see that.
All right. Oh, well, you got to see it one more time. Next up, Tuxedo / evening gown matches. These suck. These just suck. So the point of this is to strip your opponent out of its clothes. That's all. So most of the time, this is usually done between like the managers of opposing teams. I've seen it done with ring announcers. I think it's been done with referees before, which makes it so much worse because these aren't wrestlers. These are just guys pretending to realistically strip each other to their underwear.
Out of tuxedos.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Why does the smaller man look so excited to do this? It looks like the taller dude's running away from him.
He's like, don't pull my pants down.
He's like, don't you touch me with those dirty hands, you little dirty little man. I swear, if I'm gonna get you where a person, that's what the little man looks like. That's the mascot from Lucky Charms.
Yeah, these are awful. Any questions?
No,
it just seems boring.
This looks
boring.
I would be laughing. I would cry laughing at this.
This is wonderfully dumb.
As far as I know, there haven't been any of these in a while because they're just kind of silly and dumb. Yeah.
Please bring it back.
There might be. So these are going up against. Hold on. Forgot about this slide. Eventually, there was a hardcore evening gown battle royal between Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe, two 50-year-olds who dressed in drag for this match and had a hardcore match with weapons and beat the shit out of each other.
Okay.
Just random.
Not the drag I was thinking of, but all right, cool.
All right, now we're going on to the next one.
Yeah, this is going up against Punjabi prison matches. Now
this one sounds insensitive.
And that's the one. This is the one that I was saying. It makes me a bit uncomfortable with the name.
Yeah.
But are these all just bamboo sticks? Like this doesn't make any sense.
Well, sadly, I said plural, which implies that there have been 3 of these, not just one. This wasn't a one and done thing. I guess WWE thought the first one was so darn successful, we better have 2 more of them. These are so bad. So the point of this was supposed to be the Great Khali's specialty match. Great Khali is an Indian wrestler who is just a gigantic guy, and I guess this was supposed to be a specialty match. Now, the very first one was in 2006, and Khali was injured right before the match. So they had the match with The Undertaker and The Big Show. He wasn't in his own match. But they still had the match because I guess they built this fucking thing and were like,
yeah,
well, we have it.
I think the cage looks cool, but
it kind of looks cool, but you can't see anything.
Yeah, no.
There's cameramen in between the cage and like the cell area, but when it's not a shot from there, if it's a shot like this, you can't see what the hell's going on. It's
just a normal cage match, like
sort of. So in the cage, on each side of the ring, there's, again, like a pulley door where if one of the guys motions to the referee, hey, open the door, they open the door for 60 seconds. And if you can try and get out. If you can't get out, then that door stays locked forever. So eventually the guys get out, and then they have to climb over the structure to the floor.
Okay.
I guess
so like first person out wins?
Yes. Yeah. It's just escaping. That's how you win the match. Let's see. So I have a quote. I watched one of these, and the announcer said, "This was constructed in Punjab prisons where Khali was born and raised to be a savage."
Yeah, see, that's the cultural insensitive part where I'm like, this doesn't sound right.
I did a double take when I heard that.
Yeah.
So I have to write this down and put it on our podcast because it's that disgusting. Yeah, these suck.
Yeah.
Just play it out. These are bad.
It looks like some of the bars aren't even like bamboo. It's just like, it looks like metal.
I'm sure
I'm guessing the structure wasn't strong.
And I'm sure they don't want anyone to actually be climbing on it and just fucking like out if they fall into the crowd, get a bunch of lawsuits or something. Yeah, so it's either this or the evening gown tuxedo matches.
Going with tuxedo match because that was
I'll give
definitely dumber.
I'll go with the tuxedo too because look, as dumb as it is, I still may want to watch that one. This is so stupid. There's no point to that.
All right, next matchup, we've got Crybaby Match, which was a one.
I've heard of this one.
It's so stupid. I say that like for all of these. Is just two guys, Razor Ramon doing the dressing of the diaper, and the 1-2-3 kid who's getting diapered. And let's see. The loser just had to wear a diaper and suck from a bottle and get like baby powdered in the face. Yeah, Razor Ramon. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, so Razor Ramon won the match. As you can see, he put the diaper on the 1-2-3 kid, hit him with powder, and then when the kid woke up after, waking up, he cried. It's just dumb.
Like someone saw Babality from Mortal Kombat and was like, let's try to do that in real life.
This was like 1993. That's a bit before. That could have been close. Yeah, this was just kind of dumb. Not gonna lie, used it as a bit of filler to get to 32, so we'd have to even them out. However, we're moving on to WLC.
I'm gonna get you.
There he is. That is the same guy. WLC was a match between the guy on the right, Hornswoggle, and the guy on the ground, El Torito. This was, instead of a TLC match, which is tables, ladders, and chairs, this was a WLC match because they're small people. The ref was small. The commentators were small. And I have a bit here. At the time, the regular commentators for wrestling were Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler. The counterparts to that were Micro Cole, JB Elf, and Jerry Smaller.
Oh,
I'm not joking.
Oh, you want to talk about insensitive? This entire concept.
They just keep doing it. They just keep going.
This was 2016.
Oh,
yeah, you're not shocked.
Yeah, but I will say that this match is fantastic. It's easily my favorite match. The Hornswoggle and El Torito do a bunch of crazy shit. And so do the other guys because they're part of like little factions. So El Torito has a tag team, Hornswoggle has a tag team, and guys are just throwing their bodies around for entertainment. And it's actually really fun. Andy, I've got a GIF in the next one. Yeah.
Ow.
It's actually a very fun match, minus the insensitivities.
Like the guy just standing there, like cheering him on.
Yeah, that guy was in the Punjabi prison match.
Jesus.
Yeah, you've got WLC or Crybaby Match. Good choice. I don't know if there's a good choice.
I'm going WLC because Crybaby didn't sound as fun.
I mean, Crybaby sounds like just a normal match where at the end the stipulation is you had to wear a diaper.
Oh, diaper, yeah. The match itself, was it baby related, the match itself, or was it just the consequence? Oh, then WLC.
Go WLC too.
All right, WLC moves on. And next up, oh boy. All right, we've got the Eye for an Eye match. And this took place last June.
I don't like what I'm seeing here.
So this is between Rey Mysterio, guy getting with his mask, and Seth Rollins. Let's see. What exactly happened here? I think Rollins, a couple months before he used the steps to hurt Rey Mysterio's eye. So similar to the blindfold match, we come back a couple months later, and Rey challenges him to an let's remove your eye match. Literally, the only way someone could win is if their eye was removed. Kind of like an Inferno match, we know that's not really going to happen. So what the fuck is the point? It's just dumb. Eventually, Rey loses again. Andy, I've got another picture. And he holds a fake eye up by his hand. Like,
it's so bad. It's not, it looks like a painted ball, and they didn't even paint it evenly.
Yeah,
the disappointment
like
here.
Party City.
The disappointment here is this is during COVID lockdowns and stuff, so they could have done better. They have it's not like they had an audience that needed to see the eyeball.
Right. Yeah.
So
this is just done in the arena.
could have had like a good prosthetic guy. Like
so stupid. And then after this happened, Seth Rollins had to fake vomit because he was so disgusted. And he actually, I guess, shot out fake vomit from his fucking mouth.
This is so stupid. It's so stupid.
So absolutely dumb. All right, that's going up against the Bungee match. Now, this is the best picture I could find, guys. This was in 1992 in some independent company. Didn't have like a TV deal or anything like that. So there's two guys, Shaz Taylor and I think Stephen Dane, and they were feuding because Dane, the bad guy, literally painted a yellow streak down the back of the good guy. Thus, he's a coward. And the good guy can't stand for that. He must get his revenge. But he signed up for a match. He just signed up for a match, not knowing what the match stipulation was going to be. He just wanted a one-on-one match with this guy. And it ended up being the Bungee match. So they get into this yellow cage that's, very, very small. There's no room to do anything. It's pretty much you're just standing there and punching each other. It gets raised pretty high above, I don't even know if it's a parking lot or water or whatever. But they do strap bungees onto their stomachs. And eventually the good guy shoves the bad guy out. And he takes a bungee fall 50, 60 feet down.
Oh my
dude. It's so stupid.
It's dumb. I've seen a few little clips. You can't see what's going on. There's no camera up there. Like, there's no room for a cameraman. It's 1992. There weren't drones. You can't attach really cameras to the top of the cage. Like, it's just one guy at ground level holding the camera, trying to get the best shot he can.
So stupid.
That is dumb.
I'm gonna that eye for an eye match.
Eye for an eye was.
These are two of the dumber ones.
Oh.
I'm going with the bungee match though, because honestly, that's just funny to me. Because it's just like, camera guy, can you see anything going on up there? I think they're whooping each other's asses. I can't really tell.
I got it. Don't worry. This is TV gold.
This is 1992. Our cameras aren't that great.
If only we were on TV, this would be gold. Oh, God.
Yeah. Eye for eye just sounds like they didn't take advantage of, the lockdown like they could have. But otherwise, fine. So I'm going to go bungee.
I'll go eye for an eye because literally the entire concept of I'm going to take your eye out.
Yeah, it's a Christmas story on wrestling. All right, next up, the Catch as Catch Can match. There was only one of these. Oh, God. All right. So the guy on the left is Dean Malenko. The guy on the right is Billy Kidman. And the stipulation for this match is that if you left the ring at any point and your feet touch the ground, you lose. You're disqualified. You're out. Your opponent wins at any point. So the whole match has to be conducted inside the ring. That's the stipulation. It's so dumb. That's the dumbest thing. Why even have the stipulation? It's fake. You could wrestle the whole match in the ring if you want to. Why bring a stipulation into this?
So it's just a regular wrestling match?
Yeah, you just couldn't go outside the ring for any reason or else you'd lose. However, 2 minutes.
That sounds like a film.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 7 seconds into the match, Dean Malenko accidentally goes outside and the ref waves the match off. It's over.
It's 2 minutes long.
Yeah, he goes out on a complete accident. He said it before. I just had a brain fart. And he went outside the ring and lost the match.
Was he supposed to lose?
I don't even know. I'm not sure.
It's so stupid that you think it's fake, but at the same time, it's just like it's feasible. Because this is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen and heard of.
Yeah, it's awful idea. Awful idea. So it's going up against the King of the Mountain match.
This picture right here.
So, oh God, this is similar to the reverse battle royal, incredibly convoluted. So there's 5 guys in the match, and in order to become eligible to win, you have to pin or submit one of the opponents. Now, once that happens and you're eligible, the guy who lost, who got pinned or tapped out, has to go in the penalty box. As you can see, it's what Samoa Joe is sitting on for 2 minutes. Like literally a hockey minor penalty. Andy, I know you're going to appreciate that. So once you're eligible to win the match, you then have to grab the belt or whatever the object in question is from a referee on the outside and go hang the belt up on the strap that's hanging above the ring that you can see above Samoa Joe's head. It's a reverse ladder match where instead of climbing up a ladder to take the belt and you win, you have to climb up with the belt in your hand and attach it to the strap thing. It's so dumb. If you drop the belt at any point, like before that, if you grab it and someone jumps you and you lose the belt, the ref grabs it and then you have to grab it back from him all over again.
I was hoping that this was like King of the Hill, but you had to stay on top of this cage for the longest time, and this guy's just flinging him off.
See, that would be kind of cool, right? Like, that's actually sort of unique. Hold this spot. Like,
look at this guy just about to fucking nose plant on fucking judge's table.
Yeah. Yeah, this was, again, just an overly convoluted mess. There have been 12 of these. Like
12?
Yeah, this just didn't happen once. This is a 12-timer.
Oh, man.
Obviously, it must have done well.
I guess.
Here's what I'll say. I'm going to vote for the catch as catch can, only because it's a regular match and it would lose otherwise, but it lasted 2 minutes because the guy just left. That gets it. It's W for me.
That's the selling point for me. He just forgot. It was
right. Yeah.
You have one job. Don't leave this ring, and he does exactly that after 2 minutes.
2 minutes in, it just fucking started.
Yeah, catch as catch can.
All right, sweep there.
All right, we're going up. The next one up is the one I was very concerned about.
All right, so this is the Anus Explosion Death Match. And this took place in Japan between a guy named Hayabusa, which is this guy who's strapped in, and Mr. Ganasuke. And the winner of this match would have to stuff a firecracker into the rectum of their opponent and watch it explode.
Oh, no!
Andy. Well, actually, before all that happened, they had basically a Japanese, kind of death match style thing with barbed wire and panes of glass and light tubes. Andy, if you skip to the next slide, I've got a GIF.
Wrestling's so stupid.
Yes.
Like, why?
I don't know why.
He can't be getting paid that well to justify sticking a bottle rocket in his anus.
You can't.
You just can't. That's dangerous. But also,
and that's probably not even enough to cover like the medical bill that he got.
This has got to be the dumbest thing I've seen so far.
It's pretty dumb.
I'm not voting for this out of principle. Just
Well, well, what's it up against?
The bra and panties match.
Oh,
Is this just the tuxedo match, but for women?
Yes, and it's at least the tuxedo match would often be done with a story. Guys, dislike each other or whatever. It was literally only done, and this happened 50, 60 times. These were only done to please the male audience members. It's literally just women taking each other's clothes off and spanking each other. And...
Oh, it's just sexist as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not voting this one out of principle.
Yeah, the less that could be said about these, the better. It's just demeaning and awful. And I'm glad that these haven't been done for a fairly long time.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, both of them are pretty demeaning because it's like you have to watch somebody.
There is nothing demeaning about bottle
there's-
rocket to the anus.
Yeah, but somebody has to watch that shit. It's one is stupid, one is sexist. I don't know what to vote for because if I vote for either, I'm gonna look like an asshole.
So, there's a certain crowd that's complaining that bra and panties matches have been canceled. There's a certain crowd that's saying that.
You're right, and that's crazy. You're right.
I mean, I put my vote in, and this one was an easy vote. I also just think this is so stupid that I'm gonna ride this one.
I'm going anus explosion death. I'm voting for that as the dumbest fucking thing because it's just like you.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
The other one's just bad, but this one's dumb.
Awful, but this one's just like you're.
Oh no! Oh, this one also sounds suspect.
Next up is the custody of Dominic ladder match between Eddie and Rey Mysterio. Not as bad as you thought, Dave?
No, I thought it was. This is still bad. This is still bad, but I thought it was going to go in a different direction.
I don't know what Dave thought this might have been, but this is really.
This is still bad.
This is awful.
I will. Luckily, the child was not actually held above the ring. It wasn't hanging there. It was a suitcase with custody papers. Evidently, so the kid is legitimately Rey Mysterio's actual son. But Eddie Guerrero evidently claimed that he was biologically the father of Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son. Like a regular ladder match, the first guy to get the briefcase would win custody of the child and have the child as their son.
It's so stupid.
When did this come out?
This was 2005.
Oh, please tell me that Maury was in this show. Like Steve Wilkos. I don't know.
Yeah, why did they just take this to Maury and solve it there?
Like, I should have just taken this to Maury.
I don't know, it would have saved money, I bet. So eventually Eddie Guerrero's wife turns on him and gives him a low blow or something, and Rey wins the match and his son. Hooray! Hooray!
He wins his son.
Yeah. Eddie claimed that Rey couldn't start a family. Wink, wink. His dick doesn't work. My voice cracked, so that made it even worse.
It made my voice crack too.
Yeah.
This is stupid. This is stupid. The poor child. Look at his face. That poor child.
Who's my real daddy? I guess whoever whoops whose ass is my real daddy.
Maury.
Pretty much. All right, so that one is going up against the 6 sides of steel blindfold match, which blindfolds are back, everybody, but this time we're in a cage. So this was in TNA between James Storm and Chris Harris. Chris Harris was the good guy, and like the first blindfold match, was blinded by James Storm. He was wearing an eye patch, so I thought, hey, let's get even by having you blindfolded as well, and both of us inside the steel cage. This one, much, much, much worse than the first blindfold match. It is 4 minutes before anybody makes contact with anybody.
This is what I was hoping for in the blindfold match.
And contact made is James Storm, the bad guy, with the referee. Then the ref, in a, somewhat strategic move, spins James Storm around, like before going for a pin the tail on the donkey, or when you put your head on the baseball bat and you run in a circle to get dizzy. So he spins him around like that and then just pushes him into the corner for the match to continue. It's so awful. The crowd eventually chants, "We want wrestling." And then a couple minutes later, they chant "boring," which is always good. At one point, James Storm tries to climb the cage with a blindfold on. That's very dangerous. And somehow, Chris Harris follows him up as well with the blindfold on, both of them. It's so bad. It's so bad. But eventually, the ref, I think, gets knocked down or something. James Storm takes the blindfold off to cheat, kicks Chris Harris in the head, and pins him, and the match is over.
I'm going to say this is the one I think you saw.
Okay. It was like 2007 or 8, so yeah, definitely in my prime wrestling fandom. So yeah, either that or the Custody of Dominic match.
Wow, these are both so fucking stupid.
I got to imagine by this point in time, the blindfold matches were not popular.
Yeah, I think this is one of the last ones.
And so the idea of combining, well, the idea of just doing another one just sounds like such a dumb idea.
But is it as dumb as having a Morris Show episode conducted through wrestling?
It's pretty dumb.
That's really fucking stupid. The poor kid.
A lot of time and money for this.
You know, blindfold matches are already going on, so I'm going to go custody.
Okay.
I have a question about the custody battle one.
Sure.
And I have already forgotten the question because it's... was this a pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, I'm going custody battle.
Prime attractions.
I'm going custody battle.
The second biggest pay-per-view when they do a Maury Show episode.
Alrighty, only a couple more left. First one here is the King of the Road match. Should take that one in.
This is probably the biggest redneck thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
It's pretty redneck.
Yeah, so this is an 18-wheeler truck with, I guess you could call it a cage on the sides and a bunch of hay. And the winner would win the match if they got to the front of the truck and sounded the truck horn. Not like inside the cab, but I guess where the cameraman is, there's a horn or something. You just got
it's just like mounted right on that bar, it looks like.
Yeah.
So this is between Dustin Rhodes, who's the guy in the blue tank top, and the black top bully, who's the guy in the red, and Andy from our Gimmicks match. Dustin Rhodes is Gold Dust later, and the Blacktop Bully is the Repo Man, who would then repo items in a future life. So the truck is going about, 10, 15 miles an hour, because obviously it's not going to go faster because it gets dangerous. The commentators are claiming it's going like 50, 60 down a highway. It's just an open farm road.
This is something I can see recreated down in like Mississippi.
I don't know if anyone knows what Gang Beast is, but this is just a Gang Beast level.
I don't, but I'm now intrigued to check out Gang Beats.
This is real fucking dumb.
Another note. This was part of a WCW pay-per-view called Uncensored. I think it was the very first one. Again, the gimmick is that everything's uncensored, except that this match had to be censored because both guys bladed and drew blood. Because at the time, I guess, TBS and whatnot wanted a more family-friendly product and didn't want blood in their matches. These guys both ended up blading and bleeding, so the match had to be edited in a way where you don't really see much blood.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, and that's up against
the Stairs match.
I think I've heard of this before. I think this is the one you've seen.
This was in 2014. One and done. This was the only Stairs match that ever happened.
Maybe not then. Well, maybe.
It's just a match between the Big Show, who's on the stairs, and Eric Rowan, who's ready to murder the Big Show. It's just a regular match, but you can use the stairs as weapons. Except in any wrestling match, you can use the stairs as weapons anyway without getting disqualified.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I've seen people use stairs before.
Yeah, all the time. Happens all the time. On the ramp leading to the ring, there's about 10 pieces of these stairs randomly set up, like one's flat and then one's perpendicular, like a Tetris piece, to try and make it look intimidating or something. Before the match starts, Michael Cole, the announcer, says, "Don't forget it, everybody. Tweet #StairsMatch." Because that's just awesome. Yeah, and Big Show wins eventually by pinning Eric Rowan with the stairs while he's holding him down using the stairs.
I just want to look at this crowd, these front row seats. Everyone's seated. She's confused as shit. He's confused as shit. No one's excited. Also, where was this filmed, or where was this?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, WWE, but I don't know where exactly.
So we know it's not this one.
Yeah,
it wasn't this one. Yeah, sorry, no, it wasn't.
Look at this confused guy. He's confused. Everyone's confused on what's happening.
I think nobody wants Eric Rowan to actually murder the Big Show. This was in Cleveland. I could have went to Cleveland. That's not too far.
Ew.
I mean, it sounds like a forgettable match, so...
Yeah.
A forgettable match in a terrible city.
There we go. I know what you're voting for.
I hate Cleveland. I hate Ohio. No, I'm voting for King of the Road match.
Same.
It's so dumb.
Same.
All right, King of the Road moves on. We're finally at our last matchup here. I grouped these together. Just arm wrestling matches. These happen way too fucking often.
It's super dumb.
They're so silly.
Look at his face.
John Cena is blowing a load. Mark Henry is blowing a load too.
Just a bunch of load blowing going on here. And this is how some of those wrestling t-shirts were made.
Yes. Every one of these arm wrestling matches are either two things happen. Either immediately the good guy slams the bad guy's arm, within 2 seconds, and the bad guy's like, no, I need another minute. Oh my God, that was an accident. I wasn't ready, blah, blah, blah. Then they do it again. The babyface gets him again. And then the bad guy gets mad and they just brawl. So that's either that, or the second option is where, kind of like this, both guys are going back and forth, and at the very last minute, as the good guy's about to win, the bad guy pokes him in the eye or something, and then just beats the shit out of him. They always happen like this.
I bet you the first time the bad guy did that was hilarious.
Gotcha, bitch.
Right? It would work. Also, things like this, incredibly egregious, because John Cena, as strong as he may be, but that's great. Mark Henry is legitimately a world's strongest man competitor, and I think he won some U.S. competitions. He's legitimately a strong man. You aren't going to beat him in an arm wrestling match. John Cena beats him in an arm wrestling match. It's just, why call him the world's strongest man if he gets beaten in strong competition? I don't know. So stupid.
All right, and
that goes up against the Lockbox Challenge. And we are ending this on a high note, everybody. This was I hadn't seen this one, like the Fish Market Street Fight. I hadn't seen this before. This was a fucking mess. So there's 8 women in this match, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. They have singles matches. It's not a tag team match, but it's singles matches against each other. So there's 4 matches, and whoever wins the match gets to choose one of these potential lock boxes to open. And in the boxes was, again, a title, the title itself, the women's title, a chance at a future title opportunity, and then 2 mystery things. We don't know what they are. Before the match starts, one of the commentators says, referring to the women, they're called knockouts. That was their phrase for the women, not just women, but knockouts. If you like knockouts and you like boxes, you're going to love what's up next.
Wow.
I love boxes. This just looks like a game show.
A big fan of the boxes.
So,
wow.
The first winner of the match was a woman named Tara. I think she's the second from the left. Then Daphne wins match 2. She's all the way on the right in the green. Then Velvet Love wins the third match. Velvet Sky wins the third match. Angelina Love wins the fourth match. So after their matches, they all have to go up to these lock boxes and eventually open and see what they've got. Tara, who won match 1, gets her spider back. Evidently, she had a spider that was stolen, a tarantula, and she got it back, and then she makes out with the box that the spider is in. It's very weird. So, okay, cool. She gets the spider back. All right. Then Velvet Sky opens her box, and it's the contract for the title match. Cool. That's great. That's a good prize. The third box is Angelina Love's, and it's the actual title. She wins the title. Awesome. The fourth box is Daphne's. And Andy, if you can skip, we'll see what Daphne wins. A striptease! Hey! Oh, it's great. It's just great.
They
So
mentioned boxes, so
yeah, this is true. So she goes to the ring, and because she's a bad guy and doesn't want to strip, and that's bad if you don't want to take your clothes off for the audience, it's a bad thing. So she goes and kind of very reluctantly starts to sort of disrobe. Another woman comes in who lost one of the earlier matches, clobbers her, and then starts to take off her clothes. But because she's good, everybody loves it. And it's awesome that she wants to take off her clothes and show the audience her boobs. Meanwhile, Tara and Angelina Love are just beating each other up in the ring. And so they're in the middle. This woman stripping is in one corner, and Daphne is knocked out in the other. And eventually it just goes to commercial.
Boy, when was this filmed?
Again, probably 2009 or 10.
yeah.
Fairly recent.
Bit of a mess.
I did like the description of, but she's a good guy, so
Yeah.
She likes to take off her
that's
clothes.
great.
Cheers for that.
Wrestling is very
Like,
behind.
You like knockouts and you like boxes.
You're going to love what's
Jesus.
next. Yeah, so it's
Hey, glad that lady got her spider back.
Yeah.
She made out with the box, but good for her.
Yeah.
So
There's a happy ending somewhere.
all right, guys, which one's worse?
Arm wrestling's so
Lockbox
dumb.
and The lockbox challenge. Arm wrestling is just like, whatever.
Wait,
Arm wrestling's the idea they come up with like in a board meeting, and then they're like, we'll do that once, and then that's it. That's a dumb little gimmick.
God, that lockbox thing is so dumb, but also I don't.
Well, how long are the arm wrestling parts?
Couple minutes, maybe like 3-4 minutes, because it's all showmanship up to the actual arm wrestling. The actual arm wrestling match might be 20-30 seconds, but the segment itself is 5-6 minutes long.
I don't know if it's how Jerrick described it. We're like, she's a bad guy, so she doesn't like to take off her clothes. It's like, oh, that's dumb and bad in so many ways. I don't want to talk about Lockbox Challenge anymore.
Alrighty, so
Okay.
our very long first round is over, but I know the rest of us will move kind of quick. So back up to the top, the Hog Pen match against the Brawl for All Shoot Fight tournament.
Okay. I was having trouble remembering the Brawl for All at first.
A quick explanation of both. What was the Hog Pen? They were
Hog
just
Pen match.
they throw them in the pen at Duck Pigs.
Yes, and the
And
Brawl
Brawl
for
for
All
All.
is a legitimate fighting tournament where Butterbean clobbered Bart Gunn.
How could I forget my potential winner?
I'm
Brawl
going
for
for all.
Yeah.
That was a long ass, drawn out way to fire somebody.
So
If you didn't want them to win, set winner for that match.
If I'm ever in a position where I need to let someone go, I'm going to take notes from Brawl for All.
no, that's smart. All right, Brawl for All moves on. Next up,
I'll be the next fired then.
So this is a heavy hitters, the Doomsday Cage match with Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Solution and Company against a Sumo Monster Truck match where the Big Show died and came back to life 7 times.
Sumo monster truck.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, that's so easy.
That was easy.
Oh my God, he's dead like 3 minutes later.
All righty. The various pole matches, including Judy Bagwell on a forklift, Viagra, Pinata. There was a women's one with a paddle on the pole match where if you got the paddle, you got to spank your opponent. Yay!
Yes, you do.
Right, against the Fish Market Street Fight with Curry Man and Bubba Dudley tongue kissing,
Curry Man.
smacking it into the crotch of someone else.
Curry Man is even a JoJo kind of name.
Yeah. He's
I'm
got
going pole matches
Beach Boy.
just because of Judy.
I'm
Pole
gonna go.
match?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm going
going-
pole match because of Judy.
I'm going with Fish Market. The guy made out with a fish. There's a JoJo in there. Everything about it.
I'm going with pole match.
Oh, see you later, Curry Man.
Alrighty. Pole match is moving on. Next up,
Curry
the
Man
blindfold
sounds
matches.
like a character from My Hero Academia, not gonna lie.
Who?
Curry Man sounds like a dude from My Hero Academia.
Let's
be honest.
I feel he fits more into the JoJo world.
No, nobody's named Curry Man and JoJo. They're named after bands, Andy.
Yeah, but did you look at him? He's like holding the pole.
He looks like a
this.
JoJo person, sure, but he doesn't. His name's not JoJo.
Dave, could you Google Shark Boy wrestling and see if that would also be a JoJo?
Shark Boy wrestling. Good thing, I really did actually need the wrestling because even with wrestling, it still pops up the. Yeah, maybe if his mask was a little less, like maybe if his mask and colors were like a little more subdued. But yeah.
Apparently,
that's the criteria. Okay.
Shark Boy wrestler. There was a lawsuit for that. It was a Miramax lawsuit.
Oh dear. Yeah,
like he's got the fin hand and everything. It's a beautiful thing right there.
There was a small period of time where Shark Boy pretended he was Stone Cold Steve Austin and came out to a rip-off of it and flipped everyone off and gave him the stunner. Very random. A fun period of time. All right, so next up we've got either the blindfold match with Jake Roberts and Rick Martel and the Perfume against the Chamber of Horrors match with the gift that Julian doesn't want to see anymore of Abdullah the Butcher being electrocuted.
And that's the one where they all took turns just beating out a handcuffed man, right?
Yes, the guy who popped out of the coffin.
Yeah, that sounds stupid to me.
Blindfold is really dumb, especially when you consider the last blindfold match, which was also on this list. So, blindfold.
I've got one note about the Chamber of Horrors match. You remember that I said the reason that the electrocution would happen because there was a handle that had to fall from up to down. It had accidentally fallen earlier in the match. And when the guy at the very end went up there, he had to kind of, when no one was looking, push it back up and pretend that had never happened and then pull it back down.
So dumb. Julian, which one did you vote for?
Fuck. I'm going to go... I have to go with the Chamber of Horrors because it's just funny as shit. Because he just woke up and they started beating the hell out of him.
What's happening?
Oh, God. All right, next up, we've got the Tuxedo / evening gown matches. Again, people just stripping each other of tuxedos and evening gowns against WLC, which was the tables, ladders, and chairs match with little people. I'll be back in 1 second.
God. God, the WLC is just so wrong in so many ways.
Honestly, it could go either way. It's funny to me that they had to wrestle each other's clothes off.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a vote.
Tuxedo's reoccurring as a tuxedo vote for me.
I'll go with tuxedos as well. It's so stupid.
I'm gonna go with tuxedo.
It's very dumb. All righty, tuxedo match moves on. Next, we've got the bungee match where you can't see a damn thing against the catch-as-catch-can match, which was 2 minutes and 7 seconds before Dean Malenko forgot the match and lost.
As Julian put it so eloquently last time, you had one fucking job. That's the state of the fucking ring.
You had one job.
I'm voting for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for that as well.
I'll give a point to Bungie.
I also think that the guy with the camera below filming it, that's also a fun image to imagine. Just like, I'm getting it, guys. It's gonna be fucking great television. Never got a TV contract.
Alrighty. Moving on. The anus explosion death match. I don't think that needs much more description. Against the custody of Dominic ladder match.
These are two heavy hitters for me. I think both of these are a couple of the dumbest fucking things on this list. So
the custody is like the clear winner for me on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go custody too. I mean,
I love the anus explosion death match.
No, nothing says knowing your audience like having a Maury show episode played out through a wrestling match.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That's true. And finally, in our Sweet 16, the King of the Road match that took place on the 18-wheeler truck, and the various arm wrestling matches.
The King of the Road is another big heavy hitter for me. Just like a big 18-wheeler made into a cage.
Now, keep in mind that neither of these guys were really they weren't truck drivers. That wasn't their gimmick. That they were on the road. They weren't road people. Just what the fuck?
Just wrestling in a truck, baby.
Hay bales.
I could just see somebody taking their Ford pickup truck, filling the bed with hay, we're gonna recreate my favorite wrestling match.
I bet you can find that on YouTube.
There's just little snippets of Yeehaw Junction everywhere.
This is a Yeehaw Junction staple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeehaw! I'm voting for King of the Road match.
I'm going King of the Road match.
I think I would normally have gone with King of the Road, but I'll give arm wrestling it because it's so dumb too.
Also, the bottom half of this has some of the big heavy hitters for me.
Alrighty. Up top, Brawl for All against the Sumo Monster Truck Fiasco.
Sumo Monster Truck.
Yeah.
God, I'll give him love for the best firing of all time.
We'll leave you with a concussion, good sir. Out the door. All right, next up, the various pole matches against the Chamber of Horrors match. One more note about the Chamber of Horrors match. They debuted an interesting camera that was attached to the referee, almost like a GoPro, but they called it the Refer-Eye camera.
I vote Chamber of Horrors now. They did so much.
I don't want to see that again.
I just think it's very disappointing that they didn't have animatronic skeletons, but it's definitely the dumber of the two.
Think of it this way. Let's talk about everything that happened in this Chamber of Horrors all at once. They beat a man handcuffed who popped out of a coffin. They had an electric chair, which they accidentally pulled the lever on too early. They introduced the Refer-Eye cam. I mean,
now let's cover what they didn't have. Animatronic skeletons. Dracula.
Cher wasn't even in the match for the first 8 minutes.
That makes it dumb.
And they didn't have Judy. I'm voting for pole matches just because of Judy.
You gotta give Judy some love.
Gotta give Judy some love, man. Not that kind of love.
The bottom half of this bracket here, all of these could be the winner in my eye.
All right. On to the bottom half, the tuxedo and evening gown matches against the catch can match.
What a bunch of fuckery going on here.
Tuxedo for me.
I just keep thinking of Tuxedo. I'm gonna get you. It's tiny little hands.
A lot of these matches, they start out, whoever gets the first article of clothing something off is spending the rest of the match being chased around by somebody trying to rip their pants off.
I mean, yeah.
That's my vote, baby.
That's why you start with the pants.
It's usually tops first, if I remember.
Oh, there's a rule?
No. There's not a rule. It's just that usually the tops get ripped off first in these and the bra and panties matches. And the crowd always pops bigger for the bottoms, I guess.
I'm saying now Dave's got a strategy for his next tuxedo/evening gown match. I'm going bottoms first, baby.
Actually, it's probably harder to wrestle with a jacket on anyways, so
yeah. It's not just a funny gimmick, it's a strategy. Yeah. Julian, you going tuxedo? I heard you liking that one.
Going tuxedo.
Tuxedo, a clean sweep of catch as catch can.
This wasn't easy.
Might I say, before we keep going, Tuxedo is bungering the bracket right now.
Yeah, that really surprises me. I'll be honest. That really surprises me.
But it's got a heavy hitter next, no matter what wins.
We've got either the Custody of Dominic ladder match or the King of the Road match.
Custody.
The custody is so stupid.
Like no question at all.
How is that not bungered its way here? Oh yeah.
Well, it came up against the Anus Explosion Death Match.
Yeah.
That deserves a vote. All right, this is our final four. The top half has the Sumo Monster Truck match against the Chamber of Horrors.
Give me Sumo.
Sumo.
Okay, all right, and Chamber of Horrors might get one.
Julian?
Doesn't have to.
I'm gonna give some. I have to give some love to Chamber of Horrors.
Did I forgot. Did I mention what the ring announcer said the rules of the Chamber of Horrors match were?
No.
I might have. I don't know. He said that the guys will have to use instruments of torture, and the chair of torture will be put in the match. The winner will have to pull the fatal lever, which will render the opponent in the chair helpless. Not dead, helpless.
Helpless.
Sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Sounds very vague. Like helpless from what?
Yeah, helpless is kind of a not great word to use.
Yeah, I was gonna say like oh no, my taxes. Like something like that.
It was also the first match of the show, which is very strange for me. Where do you go from there? Like I don't get it.
And next up, we got a regular tag team match.
Yeah, like what in the fuck? I don't know. Okay.
I blew that load early, that show.
Yeah, the Sumo Monster Truck moves on, and at the bottom, the Tuxedo matches against the Custody of Dominic match.
Tuxedo.
Custody of Dominic.
Oh, thank goodness.
Custody of Dominic.
Okay.
Ah, come on.
Tuxedo's dumb. But we're talking about a custody battle in the ring, baby.
That's a fair point.
With the briefcase, with the custody papers hanging 20 feet above the ring, and guys having to climb up a big ass ladder and get knocked off.
And did the biological father actually lose that?
No, he won.
Okay.
He's actually Rey Mysterio's kid.
I would have loved it more if he lost that battle. And even though in real life he's the kid, like the kid goes home with Rey Mysterio, anytime they're on the show and the kid happens to be around, he's with the other guy. That would have made it so much better.
That would have.
All right, so our final is between the custody match and the Sumo Monster Truck match.
It's got to be custody.
I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna lean more towards the Sumo Monster Truck because it's just all that shenanigans, all those shenanigans.
Go back to that child's face on the promotional image.
I will say that Dominic Mysterio did a very good job of pretending that he was sad and scared all the time. Might be a reason he's a wrestler now.
It looks like he's a fan of Eminem.
Yeah.
It looks like chubby Eminem.
It literally looks like Eminem.
I mean, that's 2005 in a nutshell with the highlights of the blonde hair, the big old chain necklace.
Oh, man, this is tough. This is tough. The one where the guy comes back to life versus the custody battle.
A ladder match.
I mean, the Sumo match, it's a monster. It has nothing to do with wrestling. It's a monster truck match.
But then it becomes a wrestling. A man dies, and then he comes back to life in another match. I'm voting the Sumo. Oh, no, I don't know.
I'm sure there was a decent overlap between the two interests, you know?
Sure.
These two
And sumo's a type of wrestling, I guess, you know?
Here's the good thing about these two being in the final is some of these were like, okay, here's a weird stipulation, or here's like a post-match like punishment. No. These are two gimmick matches. You're fighting for custody and you're fighting in trucks.
Go back to that image and look at the two fighters as well. The guy on the left doesn't really seem to know what he wants to do, and the guy on the right, I don't even know.
The guy on the right is like, wait, or the left is like, wait, I can get
The guy on the right's like, I'm gonna win this child.
This is crazy, but like, can we please go back to the image of the sumo truck? That was layered. There was so much layering in that. Oh man, there's Judy.
Okay, here's the trucks. So this alone would have gotten it
some
decently far.
Look at the arm.
Also,
and then he died.
So here's what I also question about this is Hulk Hogan hits him and he's like waving back, and then Hulk Hogan just kind of goes down and like, oh man.
Yeah, because it was set up like that. The viewer, I'm guessing, would be aware that it went wrong because Hogan's like setting up for whatever the guy's supposed to be doing, but obviously.
Yeah, this was supposed to be an accident. Like, he wasn't supposed to knock the giant off the roof of the arena. Like, oops.
So if they're trying to convince the audience that it was a real accident, they would have Hulk Hogan proceed with the events as planned, you know.
And then, but it doesn't even look like he's prepping for something. He's like, all right. He's prepping for what he's supposed to do, and then it's not being able to catch him, man. Because what's he doing?
I mean, I guess he's just trying to, I'm really close to the edge. Better get low so I don't do exactly what the giant did and fall to my death.
See, I took it as like he's prepping for the giant to do his move. You know?
Yes, or maybe
the
giant
ambiguousness
tie a shoelace.
That ambiguousness of that is
like, oh no, giant, your shoelace is untied. Let me get that for you. Oh no, he fell. Shit.
Oopsies.
There goes his paycheck.
But then here he is.
And then there he is in this shenanigans. Like, look at this. There are three dudes gyrating. One dude's getting stomped out, and then there's another dude who looks like he's a part of ZZ Top's band. He looks like their drummer.
All right, so
he's just jumping in the background. This is crazy shit.
Okay, so Jarrett,
and then there's a guy in the background in between the dudes stomping his legs. That's just a funny image. And then the guy next to him has like a big ass Mario mustache.
Look at that stash. But
this is great.
Jarrett, question for you.
Yeah.
All right, guy dies here. Everyone's like, oh no, what do we do? What do we do? How do they react when he's back? A minute later.
As if nothing strange happened. The announcers are plugging it like, oh my god, I can't believe he showed up. What the hell is going on? We thought he was, dead or seriously injured. The crowd is not reacting in that way. They're just like, this is par for the course.
Yeah, was this pre-recorded or was it live? Like, was the audience watching a video of that sumo truck wrestle and then they got this later? Is my question, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The sumo truck thing was probably recorded the day before or something. Because they're not wearing.
What is the emblem on the canvas there? What is that? It looks like a handicap symbol.
It's
WCW.
WCW.
Oh, WCW. Okay.
The circle. I don't know what the fuck the circle thing's for, but yeah, that's what makes it look like the handicap placard.
It does.
I have to vote here.
And then Hulk Hogan's wearing cowboy boots.
There's so much going on in that sumo truck. But man, what a gimmick of a custody battle. What a fucking gimmick. I almost can't get over it.
It wouldn't be the custody battle wouldn't be as good if it wasn't a ladder match. If it was a cage match or a Hell in a Cell or a tables match, not as good, but you got to get that briefcase that has legal papers.
This is a legally binding outcome of this match. The child, regardless of who's they want their father to be, is legally bound.
I'm remembering at some point in the lead up to this, there was a fake governmental employee who had to come out and that, like Davey just said, that we're okay with this, guys. Go forward.
This is tight. And I feel bad after dicking Julian over in the last episode, but I may have
this wrestling match
do him again.
This wrestling match sets precedents for future court cases to be settled through wrestling.
Not only that, but I think Dave was the other person who did a pup named Scooby-Doo. So are Dave and I teaming up to just really screw Julian?
I mean, I voted what I think is
I voted Sumo Monster Truck.
I'm going
because
custody
it's
battle.
It's crazy.
I'm going custody. I don't want to look back at it. It's too close. I'm just doing it.
Wow. All right.
And
then, so the custody of Dominic ladder match ends up winning the dumbest gimmick match of all time. That's a doozy.
Most disappointing goes to Chamber of Horrors.
No, most disappointing is the blindfold match because they weren't actually blind. That's what I want in my wrestling.
The most disappointing is to catch as can catch or some shit like that.
Just
forgot. He just forgot what he was supposed to do. That's disappointing.
Yeah, that's really bad.
All right. Time to guess what Andy was at.
Take some guesses, guys.
I gave mine earlier. I got to remember what it was. It was the 6 Sides of Steel blindfold.
Okay. What about Julian and Andy?
I don't know. I feel like because the way you described it, I think you were at the hog toss or the hog one.
One of the hog pen matches?
I think that was too early, though. That might have happened even before Andy was born.
The one I have a
Triple
picture
H
of
was in there.
Yeah, the one I have a picture of is 1995, but there were other ones done in the late 2000, like 2008 or 9, I think.
Yeah, because I remember Triple H was really big when I was like in grade school, so like he could have possibly gone.
I think Jerrick was at the reverse battle royale.
I hope it's custody, though.
I want to believe that Andy saw the reverse battle royale, and that slowly has drawn him out of wrestling.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, but you're all wrong. I haven't done any of those. I saw the second Punjabi prison match.
Oh, okay. That was my second guess.
Yep, 2007. With the Great Khali against Batista at the Allstate Arena. It was terrible. I could hardly see a thing. It was so bad.
I was also deeply hoping that you somehow was at the custody battle.
I don't know where that one took place. If I had to guess, I've probably seen a bra and panties match as well because there were like 40 of them. There's a good chance I might have seen one of those. But I know Punjabi prison for sure. Proud Punjabi prison member, right?
Is that something you want to say aloud?
Proud.
Oh, we struck that from the record. Yeah, it was terrible, and probably was one of the reasons I slowly started to stop watching wrestling around that time. Just dumb shit.
I would too after that bullshit.
Yeah.
Then again, I probably wouldn't watch any of this. I wouldn't watch. If I saw one of them, I'd be like, "Well, that's it for wrestling for me."
Yeah.
I'd have stuck around after watching the custody battle of Dominic.
I mean, it was a good match at least. Like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero are awesome, and they always put on good matches. Like at least it'd be entertaining. Like, Punjabi prison match is just slow and dumb.
Also, Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy was in the one you watched. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, so what did you guys think was going to win at the beginning? Did you guys have a feeling the custody of Dominic match and the Sumo Monster Truck match would get as far as they did?
I wanted
honestly,
the Sumo
yeah,
Truck Monster match to win so bad. I thought it was going to win.
When I heard the Sumo Truck one, I knew that'd go far. When I heard the custody battle, I knew that'd go far. Just looking at the names, though, I really thought blindfold would have fared better. Because it's such a dumb idea.
Oh,
why? What's the purpose? Even if they can't see, they have to act like they can't.
Yeah. Let's see. I think the Sumo Monster Truck match is the worst one because it happens in 17 minutes. Like that's if the first segment, the actual truck fight, was at the beginning of the show, and then they come back, the Giant comes back 2.5 hours later. Okay, at least he could have gotten medical attention or something and left the ER, maybe. But it's literally that match, then a match with 2 guys, and then 15 minutes later, he's back and they're fighting, and the Yeti comes out and they hump each other, and Jimmy Hart looks like he's having an exorcism in the corner.
But man, the wildness of a legal binding custody battle.
Yeah, I get it. I totally understand. It's not what I would have chosen, but it makes a lot of sense to have that as the winner. It was so dumb. So dumb. Any other notes before we wrap this bad boy up? I know we've gone about 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
I hope Julian doesn't quit after this one, after threatening to quit after a pup named Scooby Doo won best.
I was just really mad about it, honestly, because I just like, are you serious? We all know what's good. I get back into it. I'm here. I didn't quit.
I thought it would have been
after
funny.
This, no.
Because we planned to record this one on Tuesday to try and get Bill in on some episodes, but a lot of things came up. And I thought it'd be funny because Julian couldn't make it. Be like, Julian quit. And he really laughed. That would have been a funny joke. But here we are. Julian's here. And he ain't quitting now.
It's 2 losses in a row. Hopefully we'll come back strong next week with the dub.
Okay. I mean, I won both the best albums one, so I'm happy with that.
True.
Clearly the best music taste goes to Julian.
Absolutely.
Probably. Alrighty, so we found out that the dumbest gimmick wrestling match of all time was a custody of Dominic ladder match. It's a doozy, but feel free to check it out. It's not a super long match. It's a ladder match. Those are always fun. You got 15, 20 minutes that you don't want back. It's not bad. Most of the stuff I would not recommend you guys checking out ever because it's so dreadfully boring or just uncomfortable to watch. Don't do it. But it's always fun going through these random pockets of wrestling history and trivia and telling you guys the goofy shit that goes on. I'm glad you guys all enjoy it.
There's always goofy shit in wrestling, it seems like, so.
All right, so for Andy Mysek, the guy with the best name in the whole wide world, for the Giggle King, Julian Griffin, and for Red Dead, Dave Holloway, I'm Handy Dandy Andy Jerrick. We'll see you next time on Bracket Up.